Today we're diving into the world of money, trade, and how different countries decide who gets what. We're talking about economic systems, which is just a fancy way of saying how a country runs its economy. Don't worry, it's easier to understand than it sounds. Let's break it down by looking at four main types of economic systems: traditional, command, market, and mixed. First up, we've got the traditional economy. This is the oldest type of economic system, and it's still used in some parts of the world today. In a traditional economy, everything is based on customs, traditions, and the way things have always been done. Imagine living in a small village where your family has been farming the same land for generations. You grow your own food, make your own clothes, and trade with your neighbors for things you can't make yourself. There's no big government telling you what to do or big companies trying to sell you stuff. Just people living the way their ancestors did. It's simple, but it works for communities that are closely tied to their land and culture. Next, let's talk about the command economy. This one's a bit different. In a command economy, the government has all the power. They decide what gets made, how much of it gets made, and who gets it. Imagine the government is like the boss of a giant factory, telling everyone what to produce and where it all goes. Countries like the old Soviet Union or North Korea have used command economies. The idea is that if the government controls everything, they can make sure everyone has what they need. But in reality, it can be tough to get things just right, and people don't always get a say in what's important to them. Now let's move on to the market economy. This system is all about freedom. Freedom for people to buy, sell, and make whatever they want. In a market economy, businesses decide what to produce based on what people want to buy. If a lot of people want ice cream, guess what? More ice cream shops pop up. Prices go up and down depending on how much stuff there is and how many people want it. Think of the market like a big playground where everyone's trying to come up with the coolest new toy to sell. Countries like the United States and Japan have market economies. The upside? Lots of choices and innovations. The downside? Sometimes not everyone gets what they need, especially if they don't have enough money. Finally, we've got the mixed economy. This one's kind of like the best of both worlds. In a mixed economy, the government and businesses share the power. The government steps in to make sure things don't get too out of control and that people have access to basic needs, like healthcare and education. But businesses still get to decide what to make and sell, and people still have the freedom to choose what they want to buy. Most countries today, including Canada and France, have mixed economies. It's like a recipe where you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that to make something that works for everyone. So there you have it. 4 different types of economic systems: traditional, command, market, and mixed. Each one has its own way of deciding who gets what, and each one works differently depending on the culture, history, and values of the country that uses it. That's it for today's geography lesson. Now you're ready to impress your friends with your knowledge of how economies work. Just remember, whether it's a tiny village or a big country, everyone has their own way of keeping things running.